Hey, Yuling, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I guess what we're going to talk about tonight is something that I know affects like millions of people. And, it's just something we should talk about. Usually we're talking about like good things and happy things and, or, like, I don't know, like, spiritual things or whatever. But we're going to talk about cancer, and I know that's kind of a icky subject to talk about, but I've had to watch my stepdad go through that, and it really that was such an eye-opening experience, and my niece is actually going through that battle right now. She's doing better, but my gosh, that I don't wish that on anybody, and and it affects so many people. And it's I read that like people in Greece, that eat that Mediterranean diet, even, their cancer rate is very low. So we could look at it two ways. We could look at it like the food we consume, or like mental health, or stress. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's a huge topic. I mean, it's just not a simple topic about cancer. And just back to follow you earlier, you mentioned that this topic is because this is the reality we face that. So, but we can turn this topic into a positive way to talk about it and to make more people have the realization to realize that cancer can be a we can learn how to get along with cancer. I mean, all the diseases, including cancer, actually, in my opinion, and also the science also already have, said more than 90% of diseases are caused by our emotions. Because if we say everything is energy, even just tiny thoughts, a stressful thought can, right, make a negative reaction
Mm,
in, our body has to respond to that stress. And the biochemistry, we body naturally have those biochemistry to respond to all those stresses to maintain our body's health or to maintain it. Um, so I don't know where to talk. But just to look at back my career, I've been studying medicine, pharmacy, and I've been a doctor, pharmacist, a researcher in the clinical world, but also in the research world. But at the end, I still very grateful for modern science, modern medicine. But more and more, when I grow older, and also in my life experience, I've been through so many things and have seen so many patients and people around me. More and more, I believe that we human beings carry the natural strength, natural healing strength towards whatever cancer or diseases. So I believe that we can get along with cancer. Because cancer, when we see this word, we relate to that, very bad situation, bad health, and then sadness, and people pass away, and all those kind of things. However, if we see, it's just because our body got us reactions, and in the past, we didn't really care about it. And then it add up till an extent reach to a name called definition called cancer. But
mhm.
it's just some natural responses being added up in our body, and we haven't been taking care of it. And why I said that we carry the natural healing strength, and also in many science researches also already showed, including Chinese medicine actually. So in the Chinese medicine, we don't really have this definition in the past, say a cancer, because everything is just your body's natural response. And then we adjust your body condition um, to get along with your body. So you notice your body and then you constantly go back to care about your body. So I think that's a different ways we when we see Chinese medicine and Western medicine. Western medicine more like chemistry reactions, So you give this drug and that reactions happens in your body and then, has that kind of things. But Chinese medicine is more systematic. It's all about your lifestyle, what you eat, and how, your lifestyle, what you do every day, what you think, your daily behaviors and customers and all those kind of things. And we become what we eat. We become what we live. So it's just a natural process or natural result of our living style. That's my understanding. But so what I wanted to say is that cancer maybe is not that scary like what we, generally think. That's what I wanted to say the most. And there's many natural ways we can get along with cancer during the treatment with the professionals.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, I think as a society, you just said it earlier too. When we hear the word, we think death right away. And we do. And, sometimes I don't know. I had a really good friend and she fought hard, and this was back in the 90s and she was diagnosed with it. And, she even tried the holistic route, to try to combat it or whatever. And so she gave it a good shot, and she extended her life, a good 5 years. And, but then finally succumbed to the disease. And, I'm just not really sure why, some people just can't get ahead of it. Others do. They combat it, they win against that disease. And, so I don't know what defines it one way or the other. With my stepdad, when he got it and then how fast it moved through his body and stuff, that was frightening to see, how that was just kind of eating him up from the inside out. And then, just that, his last days, just, I was, we had him set up in a hospice bed in the house. And so I was laying in the recliner, like right next to him, and just, watching him writhe in pain. Just, he couldn't even speak it. I don't even know. I don't know if he was like almost like in a coma, because he wasn't awake, but he was writhing in pain. And I was supposed to give him morphine like every so many hours or whatever. But um, I was just like so mad at the disease for watching him, like go through and suffer all that, through all that pain. And I finally had to call hospice and just say, hey, we have got to do something here. We've got to make him comfortable because he was suffering so bad. And I don't wish that on anyone at all, to go through something like that. So I don't know, I don't understand why some people, their bodies can like rid themselves of this disease and other people's bodies just can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a mystery to me, and then like even with my hypnotherapy, like I do this vortex healing where I just go through the entire person's body with them, and we kind of regenerate cells, and do kind of like a healing vortex thing too, and just kind of work mentally on like replenishing, disease cells with like healthy cells and stuff. And that's kind of interesting to do too with people and help them with different ailments in addition to eating healthy and stuff like that too, And I think sugar's really bad for people. And I like sugar. I mean, I have a sweet tooth and I wish I didn't, but I think sugar is like horrible for people in their
For sure.
bodies.
So I'm not an expert on cancer, but I know just in general, the cancer that's, you see, it's alive, right? It also needs cancer nutrition to grow, right? If we cut that nutrition, let's see, it's sugar. If we cut the sugar for the cancer tissue, and then the cancer should stop growing. And I heard in some approaches, some doctors approach to cancer, they use kettle therapy So they give certain food, but just cut the cup, cut the sugar.
Hmm.
Is high protein and just really limited sugar. Of course, we need sugar in our body just for maintain our life. We need sugar. It's the most easy energy that we can access. But in terms of the cancer, sugar definitely is not good for it. So the other thing that you mentioned that why some people can survive from the cancer and some of them cannot. In my understanding, even my dad, my dad passed away, you know that 2 years, a
Mhm.
couple years ago.
Yeah.
And from what I observe, of course, there's many factors. And also he's been hospitalized and the condition of medical system and too many factors. But I just simply talk about that as a human being, no matter who, we have this kind of reaction or emotion called fear. So this fear is for us to survive back to maybe millions of years as the evolution of creators. So we have this kind of reaction in order to keep us to survive from the wild. So this instinction still works very hard in our mind. So when people hear that they got cancer, the first reaction, of course, that will scare them. So naturally, the fear or scarcity and lots of things will comes up, and then your body will give those biochemistry in regards, and that will integrate your body, your health condition, your right decrease your body because that will decrease your immunity. Eventually, that will affect in many aspects.
Hmm.
So we always say keep positive thinking, right? Or there's a lot of ways feel grateful and making affirmations and meditations. For sure, they absolutely are working. But not everyone knows the right way to manifest your desire, right?
Hmm.
Because when we say something positive, but if your mind, your heart don't believe what you say, then your desire won't come true. It's
Yeah.
just that simple. So when we got that technique, I think it's just some people know how to connect to their higher being or higher wisdom to get that strength within. And that moment you connect it with the higher wisdom, and your body will also get excited to respond to that wisdom or that strength. And just it happens just like a miracle. We
Hmm.
often we often hear some news, there are lots of miracles happens in cancer patients. I think it's just the technique that we practice how to connect ourselves to get or maintain or protect your peace. And I don't know how to express it. I think it's just really beautiful state that if you can reach to the within and a higher dimensional strength, miracles miracles happen.
I truly believe that what we tell ourselves really comes true, that we become what we say to ourselves. And so I am right along the same kind of lines that what you're saying. And this is why our brain responds to what we tell it. And like our subconscious mind holds no judgment whatsoever. So if we tell our subconscious mind one thing, it's going to go, okay, that's the way it is. It does not care. It does not judge. So if
Yeah.
we tell our subconscious mind, I'm sick, our subconscious mind is going to say, okay, you're sick. You're
Yes.
sick. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like society has groomed us and programmed us to believe that if somebody is diagnosed with cancer, it means death. It means it's the end. So then if somebody hears that word, then they're already programming their subconscious mind, I'm going to die. So then I really believe they start thinking that, they start believing that, and then it starts creating that to happen in their body. I really believe that it manifests it like you were talking about. It's like, I'm going to die. So it's telling them, okay, you're going to die. Okay, let's make it happen. I really
Yeah.
believe that that's possible. Or
Yeah.
there's people, and just like, my niece is just like a little warrior, tough cookie. And it's like, you're going to beat this. You're going to beat this. And she is. And so you have people like that, very, very positive, and saying, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to get the best of this. It's not going to get the best of me. So when you have a mindset like that, to where it's like, I'm in control, not the cancer. It's
Exactly.
people like that where, they're feeding that positive information to their subconscious. And so they're telling their subconscious mind, hey, put this in my database, put this in my knowledge that I'm in control. I'm going to beat the disease. And then the subconscious mind's going to hold that information and say, you know what? You're going to beat the disease. So then that information's in there and ready to make that happen. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
what we tell ourselves, we are going to make that happen. I really
Right.
believe that.
So like affirmation, manifestation is a skill that the more you practice and the better you become. So maybe at the beginning when you practice like, positive thinking, you do some positive affirmation, your mind, your consciousness doesn't really believe it. But
Mhm.
interestingly, science find out that our subconsciousness doesn't judge whatever
Yeah.
you tell them
It doesn't care.
because they don't recognize it's true or it's not true.
Mm-mm.
So like what you said earlier, so we tell or keep feeding our subconscious needs those positive information. And in turn, when it reaches to a certain level, and because you're repeatedly doing this, and your subconsciousness also started to tell your consciousness that that is true. And then in return, that we got this mindset, and then we will take certain actions. The more actions you take, it become your habits, and the
Yeah.
more positive result comes out. So
Yeah. And
I think it's just yeah.
yeah. And that's how I help like all my clients too, because like they have a lot of trauma in their lives because, all that trauma is sitting in their subconscious. All of it is, the subconscious is like the Google of their lives, if you will. It
Yes.
just holds all the memories and all the experiences and everything. So it's the Google database of their lives. So you have to go in there and clean out all the icky stuff, right? And
Yeah.
then you go in there and you feed the subconscious with really good stuff, good positive stuff. And then the subconscious will just feed the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what makes the judgment and the decisions and stuff like that. So if you can feed your subconscious mind with good stuff, then you've got a good database full of information. So when you come upon like icky diseases like cancer or whatever, you want to feed it full of good things like, you know what, I'm in charge. I've got the power, not you. That's the way you want to approach it.
Yes,
What
very,
have you
very
got to
fine.
lose?
Yeah, very, very sad.
Yeah.
And I use that approach to my patients and people around me, my clients as well. Interestingly, now it's not only use that for healthy or health I mean this industry. I mean this mindset can be used in all aspects of our life. And recently I have a new approach. Use this mindset, working on mindset to improve people's skills and ability to master a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm creating this program about because English language is a global language, but not everyone that can speak or use English well. Even though we study English at a school for a long time, but it's just only one way, like one way input education. And some people are not good at outputting. However, I think the most importantly is because the school doesn't really teach you in that way to help you or promote you to output, to use more the language. And I didn't really have a good English speaking environment myself, but I did. Luckily, I was luckily discovered quite a few methods myself. But apart from this physical methods, I also noticed that I utilize the many spiritual techniques in those physical methods. That's why even without a English speaking environment or appropriate practice with any, native speakers, but I was able to reach to a high level in the past. So now I'm just working on it very interestingly, just for one example, see how our body responds to those reactions, to respond to what happens around us. So I still remember that about probably 15 years ago, more than that maybe, I had a very important interview with my CEO, the company. And this interview, it's in Japan, and she's Japanese, and we speak Japanese. But because it's a project or a job relates to the international department, so we had interview in English. But I really didn't have any English speaking or practice environment. I still remember that in the bullet train, and I visualize that how I talk with her, what will that interview will be. So in the visualization, I try to warm myself up and imagine the excitement, what I'm excited to talk. And naturally, my body really got that reaction. I feel, even it's not happened yet, but I feel that excitement inside of myself. So
Mhm.
that I got a vibration. When I meet her, I can speak, naturally and pleasantly. And also another trick is that before I meet someone, it's just at home, that I just use some body movement and some body. Look, English speaking people, you guys have lots of gestures and kind of so
We do.
I use those. And also, when I say something, I try to copy the people who I watched in the movie, in dramas, and I copy their, movement and gestures like that. And interestingly, I feel that, it's just very interesting chemistry. The chemistry reaction comes up, you know, come up within me, and I feel it. When you feel those biochemistry, you naturally just behave in certain way. Um, so now I'm just trying to summarize all those techniques combined with, normal language learning skills, methods with neuroscience backed techniques together, and to share with people how to master a second language faster. And you don't really need to feel the resistance. I mean, when you study something, the passion is the most important thing. If you have passion, you can overcome lots of hardships. So my way is, in my English course, is when you study, master the language, but also you are healing yourself, you let yourself grow, but also you are having fun when you are doing this. So that's my new approach. Begins from the mindset that we've been talking today
Mhm. You
about
know,
consciousness, and all those things.
yeah, you just said something that you and I've talked, we've been talking about your teaching English for like what, like weeks now, we've been
Yeah,
talking about it for quite a while.
right,
But
right.
I just thought of something that you just said that is really cool too. It's like you said, stepping into a role. So maybe even just, these gals that you want to teach this course to, and having fun, if you presented it to them like, hey, this is your time, just break away and, even pretend, like this is your chance to even be an actress. Just pretend that, you're gonna, get on stage and you're gonna, like be this American speaking actress or English speaking actress or something like that. They don't have to be themselves. They can just pretend and,
Yeah, yeah.
pretend you're an American and you have these gestures and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and,
I
and
think
they can
about
step
that.
into a
You have
role.
some games, when I have
Yeah.
class, I invite them to do some games. And because this is a very safe, private environment, a meeting, so you can be whoever you want. You can do just imitate any characters that, English speaking characters that in your mind you have watched in the past, movies or animations, dramas, wherever it comes from. We just imitate what like how they talk. And yeah, I planned that as a game or a way in the class to interact with each other and practice. I think this is a very fun outputting way in regards
I think that's a great idea. I do.
learning English.
Yeah. Yeah. Why
However,
not?
just like when we say master a foreign language, just naturally people will relate to hardworking and lots of long hours a day, have to study hard, kind of things. So people will relate to traditional way of studying. No matter how
Mhm.
I explain, people just don't get it. People just say they label themselves that I'm not a type of person of hardworking, or I don't really have a good sense of mastering a foreign language, or I'm not good at learning. Listen, all those thoughts are negative levels that they made for themselves. No matter, but I think that's need a little bit process or
Mhm.
a little bit time for them to understand. The most important thing is that around them, there must be a positive voice to remind them they are capable and they can do it if they want. So it's not easy. It haven't been easy to reach out to the audience because this is absolutely, I'll call it cutting edge method or approach to master a foreign language. So it's a little bit hard for people to understand um, how you master a language without working that hard or without studying that long time.
It's hard. It is hard. And, I have to tell you, I downloaded this app and I know my son's, I think he's still doing it, but I downloaded this app. And so I was learning Spanish for the longest time because, we have a lot of Spanish in
Yeah.
America. So I was learning Spanish and then I got bored with that, and then I was trying to learn French and I know a little bit of German, but not a lot of German. But anyway, and then I just quit, and but if you don't do it consistently and you really don't put like some effort into it. And like I seriously, this app that I was using, I mean, 3 minutes a day. You cannot learn a foreign language in 3 minutes a day because then you have to apply it, right? You have to actually, if you want to teach somebody a foreign language, it has to be something that like you've got to say every day. You've got to apply what you learn, and I never really did apply what I was learning. So, it's got to be like the way you design your class to teach these women English, it's
I
got to be something where they can apply it like in their
exactly.
everyday language. Yeah.
I did take that into the consideration a lot because consistency is the key.
Yeah.
If you do today and you stop tomorrow, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why we need a passion. Try to cultivate their passion first. Um, and then like the output place, let's see, because we don't really have many people around us speaking English or the environment. So
Hmm.
I didn't have either. So I watched lots of movies and dramas during that period of time, especially when I got depressed. So I have, you know that I'll be moving around globally. So
Yeah.
in in all those life trials, I had I had ups, of course, ups and downs. So when I in the downs, most of the time, because it's a depressed, um, because I was in depression. To be
Hmm.
honest, if I go to the hospital, I will probably ended up of, bunch of medicines, but I didn't. But however, I was trying to think a way that I allow myself rest in this situation, but I just couldn't bear did nothing.
Hmm.
So if I had to watch screens in order to get from get away from the reality, then I only watch the English movies, English speaking, whatever news, movies, programs, or anything. And that's the only thing that I was just really insisted. And it's also, I'm looking for those, of course, it's not everything that I watch. I watch something that I feel lower hurdle and I feel love to watch. So it's just one stone, two birds kind of things. And at the end of the lab trials, I mastered a foreign language. So that's not easy, but still, like what you said, what I wanted to share is that now we got AI, right? Now it's
Mhm.
AI era. We don't need anyone to talk. We can just download an app, ChatGPT or whatsoever, Google AI Studio, whatsoever. You can just press on that and you can talk to the AI and practice your English.
And AI. So when I run across it, I'll share it with you. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
anyway, so it's just I feel so passionate about this, new approach. Use those mindset and also those neuroscience backed techniques into a language learning. I'm very looking forward to meet my students. Actually, it's next week.
Well, I think you're going to do good. I've
I
got all
believe
the
so.
faith in the world in you. You're going to do fine.
I believe so.
Yeah. Now, how many hours different are you again? Because what time is it right now? Noon?
12:20 p.m.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. So
You're in mountain time, right?
yeah, I'm in mountain time. It's almost 8:30 p.m. here.
Oh, okay. So it's 16
Yeah.
hours difference.
So
16
it's the
hours
31st where
ahead.
you're at, right? January 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are 1 hour behind the PST. PST.
hmm yeah, I'm 1 hour later.
One
So
hour
like
later. Oh,
like where Tamia's, it's 7:30 p.m. her
9:30.
time.
So she's
7:30.
9:30 now?
No, she's 7:30.
7:30.
I'm 8:30. So
Okay.
I'm later than her.
Okay.
hmm
So look,
It's still
that's
confusing.
that's the way of expression. That's the different way we express it. In my language or in my culture, we think 8:30 is ahead of 7:30.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right? Because you experienced 8:30 earlier than the 7:30. So the 7:30 is later.
No, what? No,
No,
say
8:30
that
in the
again.
front.
No, 8:30 is later than 7:30.
It's bigger as a number, it's bigger than 7:30. But
Yeah.
you go to the future 8:30. I mean, you go to 8:30 earlier than the people who are in the zone in 7:30. So which means in my culture or language expression, we think you are earlier. You are earlier than the people who you are 8:30 and you are earlier than
I
the
see
people
where
who
you're
are in
coming
the zone
from,
8:30.
but no.
I know that's the
No,
language,
it's
the
just I
culture.
wake up earlier than they do, so I go to bed earlier than they do. I guess if that makes any sense. Does
So
that
it's
make
still
any sense?
earlier.
So I
Look,
get on with my day earlier than they do.
earlier than them.
Coming from your point of view, yeah, I
Yes.
got you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but in English language expression is that you are late.
I am later than them,
You are later, you are 1 hour later
than them, yeah,
the
than
PST.
Pacific people, yeah. But I see where you're coming from. I'm just giving
Yeah.
you time. So
So I just wonder why you say that 1 hour later than
mhm,
them.
yeah,
Why? Why?
because I am.
Look, I explained that because you entered this time zone earlier than them, I call that you are
I
one
know,
hour
isn't it
ahead of
funny?
them.
Because like when we're in the States here, okay, it's 7, like where Timmy is right now, which we love her dearly and we miss her tonight. So,
Yeah.
okay, so where Timmy is, it's 7:30 p.m. and it's 8:30 p.m. where I am in the mountains. So I'm later. It's later at night where I
It's
am
late at
than
night.
where she is. So that's why
Okay.
we say it's later for me because it's
Okay.
later where I'm at.
I see. It's still from
So
the number. It's bigger. It's late than 7:30. So
yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
that's how that expression comes.
yeah. From my expression, or I think this way of thinking is maybe my language or maybe my culture, because we think we enter this time or we experience this time 1 hour earlier than the people behind. So we are older.
I know where you're coming from. I have to think about that for a minute, but I am with you. I am
Yeah.
with you. Okay.
So
We have talked about everything under the sun. Okay. Hey, before we sign off, let's do a card. You want to do a card?
yeah, sure.
Do you have cards?
Yes, I have.
You grab a card.
Okay.
Grab one of your cards.
I have quite a few kinds of cards.
Okay, you grab one.
Let's do an easy one.
Okay.
Mindful talk. Let's just have some mindful talk.
All right.
Okay.
I love doing this.
Okay, you take one.
Okay, I'm gonna take. Okay, I'm gonna take one of those blue ones in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. I'll pick that one. Perfect.
Okay. Why do you think it is important to not worry about the past or the future?
Oh my God, I love that one. Can I go first?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's wasted time. That is
Well said.
absolutely wasted time. That was an easy one because it is so important not to worry about the past or the future because you can't do anything about it anyway. It doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist anymore and the future doesn't exist. So why worry about it? You should live in the present where we exist like right here and right now. Otherwise, it is wasted time.
Yeah.
I love that one. So that's my answer. What's yours?
I think it's easy, because we are living in the present. We are not living in the past, neither the future, because the past has passed and the future hasn't come yet. We are at the present. We only can deal with the things happens in the present. So breathe in that every day. Remind yourself we are in the present. We live our present the best, and that's the way to create a beautiful past and a beautiful future.
Yeah. And here I have to add this too. Okay. So if you want to think about the past, you learn from it, which is totally fine. And if you want to think about the future, you can dream and set goals for where you want to go. But all that really matters is where you're at, like right now. Like right now. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Exactly. I totally agree. So
great
I think
cards.
It's beautiful.
That's great cards.
I love it. So I'm going to do this game in my mindful English learning course.
Oh, I think you should.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just we have one challenge. Some people's level of language level is all different. It's a challenge, but I also think it's fun. Iron Mask, you're the new the person who sent the rocket to the Mars. Elon Musk. Well, how do you pronounce it?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. So he has a school called Ad Astra. And in his school, there's different ages people. From people who are in the nursery ages to, teenagers, high school, and even higher. But anyway, so I'm just think that, I just want to break the traditional way of thinking when we study or learning things. And I just can't wait to, see how the girls will love this class.
They're going to love it. And because you know why? Because you're just a little ray of sunshine. So you're just going to make them happy anyway. You're going to just be right out in front and center. And you exude confidence and this loving nature about yourself. And you're going to make them feel comfortable. And just you're going to show them how easy it is. And they're going to be excited to learn from you. And you're going to be inspirational. So I just think you have everything going for you. You're just going to be wonderful. So it will be fun.
So much. Thank you so much. I embrace all those beautiful things.
You got this. So. All right. Well, we better wrap it up. We we talked about everything under the sun. And I think we just ended it on a beautiful note. So I'm going to stop the recording. Okay. Hang on one second.